go.
All right, are you guys ready?
This is so exciting. Can Sen defeat Select to move on and face Nano? What a match that would be.
God, I would love to see that match. All right, our map is going to be Shakuras Plateau, and we will now introduce the players. In the bottom right starting location, we have our red Terran. Make some noise for Select. Meanwhile, in the upper left, we have our Zerg player. Make some noise for Sen. Sen, at least here in our convention hall, the fan favorite.
That's right. In fact, I think for a lot of people he is. Sen is just a beloved character.
Yeah, he's got a great personality. He's fun to watch. He's a top non-Korean, so that's always exciting to see if he can take out a Korean.
Well, the map is Shakuras Plateau, and this is a map that these two have played so much. In fact, this is the map that we most often see Select do that little bunker in at a ramp. Oftentimes he does it at the natural ramp, trying to catch a hatchery off guard. But, Sen's going to be ready for that, and I don't know if Select will do it this time after Sen owned it up so hard last game.
Yeah, he may want to come in here with a different build order. Now, this map generally leads for longer games. It's a map where you can actually get the map cut in half. The only real point of access here is through this hallway over here in the center of the map. So you get a lot of, big bouts there. And I got to say, I think for a long, late game, Sen is probably slightly better than Select.
Yeah, I would absolutely say that. Select is a great player, but he has some flaws in his play. He's someone that oftentimes stops SCV production around 60-ish. We don't see him really go above that. He's improved upon it lately, but he'll get like 3 bases and be like, no, that's cool. 3 bases, I'm killing you now. And he's got great control, great strategies, great macro off those 3 bases. So he oftentimes can do it. But Sen is a player that, as we saw last game, he can go very low econ and make a bunch of Zerglings if he smells blood in the water, or he can go up to 7, 8, 9 bases. However many bases you want to put on the map, tasteless, you go in the map editor, you make a crazy map, has 20 bases. Sen will take 15 of those bases if you let him.
Yeah, he will just keep consuming the map. And he really plays Zerg, I guess the way that you could say Blizzard intended for Zerg to be played is this cancerous spreading race, just consuming the map, eating up all the resources. And it's the same Sen that we know from Starcraft 1 for the pro gamers who used to play against him or train with him.
Absolutely. Well, we do have, of course, the very quick expansion followed by pool. No gas yet for Sen, which is interesting. Sometimes you do that just for economy, and sometimes you get the very late gas if you're planning on going Roach. Now, I wouldn't be too surprised if Sen was going to plan on going Roach, as the Reactored Hellion build is so popular. He even did it last game after that little bunker rush, and that's what's happening here again. So if Sen goes for that, then good on him. It's going to defend the Reactored Hellions very simply.
I like this. He ran forward with the Marine and the SCV, just poked, shot the Overlord, and then he hides the SCV over here. So he wants to know, when is this base going to be taken? Because Zergs almost always take this base in this matchup, not this one, because this one's a little bit more easy to push. This one is a little bit more tucked away.
That's right. Well, command center going up, reactor ready for those Hellions. A couple Zerglings coming in here, but the Marines will fight them off. But Sen basically knows everything that's going on right now. He knows the timing of that. He realizes Hellions are going to be on the way, and therefore puts up a Spine Crawler immediately at home.
Yeah, and that Spine Crawler is going to come in very handy. He's going to want, to guard the ramp here. It's a very important location on the map. And as you can see, the Hellions are now moving out. Let's see how much damage they can actually do. And is he going to make more? No, and I actually like this style when you just get about 2 Hellions, because there's always the threat of more Hellions. Even if you don't see more than 2 Hellions, some good players hide them. So sometimes you see Zergs overcompensate for something that's never even a threat.
That's right. And if they suddenly have a couple spines or all their queens in position, they're building walls at the front of their natural against them, they make a ton of speedlings against them, and you only have 2, you have gained so much. They have really slowed down on their drones, but Sen is too smart for that. He has the very minimum of defense until he knows otherwise, and he's making a ton of drones. He's actually about to hit 38 against 24. And that's really quick to get that many drones. He is doing a superb job of getting his economy online.
The Roach Warren is on the way now. And we are just going to have to wait a little bit, guys, as they both tech up. Teching up is definitely the right thing to do on this map. They're far apart. And, you know, when you're far apart, if you try to go to an attack, the travel distance is so long that you could just get in, you know, a huge amount of trouble. They might have enough to deal with whatever you're going to throw at them.
And, you know, that's actually exactly what Zerg wants. That's what makes a map. A lot of people are confused. What makes a map good for a race? Well, one thing that Zerg wants is to be far away. They want to make their units at the last possible second to overwhelm their opponent.
Right.
You don't want to just make them all the game nonstop. Now, we do have some roaches moving out here. Sen has already added in some speedlings as well, has a nice little amount of that, 20 speedlings and 7 roaches. In fact, 18 more speedlings on the way. It looks like he actually wants to get very aggressive here, and this might end up working very well. Select doesn't have a lot at home. He just has Marines being pumped off a few barracks. He has no siege tanks and just 1 bunker.
This is a rush we saw a lot more in StarCraft 2 ZVZ, but it actually does work. Basically, the Zerglings will come up here and tank the damage up so the Roaches can then deal the damage.
Oh, nice little wall by Select. Very smart of him using those Hellions to try to deal damage to the Zerglings. A lot of SCVs coming up here, and the medevacs get down just in time. Does Sen have enough to break through here? It looks like that bunker just being repaired far, far too well.
Oh my God, talking about a blunder there.
And Sen's attack ends up doing very, very little. In fact, he didn't kill anything, man. He
killed the Hellion.
Yeah, that's about it. Maybe a Marine or 2, but SCVs killed 0. I mean, he did not do any economical damage. He used a ton of larvae. That was about 40 lings and 7 roaches. So, you know, that's 27 larvae. Could have been drones. Could have been stuff still alive at his base. It makes a huge difference that just happened.
Well, I love how Select is so reactive. He says, all right, time to move out, and I got to, you know, I need to do some damage. He's going to elevator the units up here into the main. Looks like Select is more than aware. No, he's not. I guess he sees the Queens moving up there, and now he's decided to go to the front. Stim is done. Combat shield's halfway complete.
Select with a beautiful timing here, Tasis. There's not a lot of units here to stop this, and in fact, those Queens going to be targeted down oh so quickly. Don't forget he can lift up, and there he goes. Beautiful lift up. And Select will get out alive.
Really nice there by Select. That was a perfect example of doing enough damage and then leaving when you're finished.
Well, it looks like he's going to go back in. You know, drop harassment is one of the greatest things you can do against someone who's made roaches. It makes it so that they don't have a lot of stuff that hits air, just Queens, and you can really abuse the immobility of the slow roaches, especially off creep.
Oh, the Overlord. And not a single Marine, actually 1 Marine, excuse me, was killed there.
Everybody leaves here alive.
So, the refinery now finishing up here. We have another group of Marines over here killing off creep tumors. No third base for you, Sen, as that drone is shot down. Oh my God, even getting the creep tumor over there. He just wants to harass the hell out of Sen and hope that Sen can fall apart.
Well, here we go. Some more units moving down here. The 2 Queens trying to take out that medevac.
Oh, wrong place to drop.
You know, this is where Select shines. If you let him get ahead of you even a little tiny bit, this is what happens. Non-stop drops everywhere. He knows exactly how to play from here and Sen's in a lot of trouble. You know, he's up by supply, but it's only by 8, and that's not enough right now.
Meanwhile, back at home, Select is massing up a ton of units, just making sure that, you know, he's going to have a great economy, even getting another orbital, so he's going to take a third base probably before his opponent.
Yeah, it does look like that, Tasteless. If he gets that up, Sen is going to be in so much trouble. He does have his Spire about to finish. He's going to get about 10 Mutalisks right away. And that's going to help. It's going to clear up the drops. If he can catch the drops without the Marines doing any more damage, then that is pretty gigantic.
I love how he's kept some of these small medevacs over here just so that the Zerg feels the threat of drops. He doesn't want to leave. Canceled. And again, the third base here for Sen is going to be so incredibly late. Meanwhile, the orbital being landed over here. That's 3 orbitals, 3 mules coming down constantly. The Terran's economy is going to be through the roof.
Oh, the mutas have popped out. It's time for him to start cleaning up drops. But Select looks like he wants to actually do a push across the map. We have No Banelings at all. No Baneling Nest. But that can be okay. You can go Ling Muta for some time against Terran, especially if they overcommit to this, which Select might actually be doing with all these Roaches and Lings out, as well as a good clump of Mutas. He might be able to clean this up, and if he does, Sen's going to be in a little lead. And here we go. Where are the Mutas, though? The Mutas nowhere to be found. A single Muta in there. If he had all 10 with this attack, it would have done just superbly better. As is, looks like it. Well, there are the Mutas
still
finally coming down.
Clean up here. You know, I'm surprised Select pushed there because, as you said, Artos, if the Mutas were there, he would have just killed him.
Yeah, if he had the Mutas there, he loses very little. Sen's army would be easily twice as big right now. And things could be scary. In fact, I think he could have probably counterattacked that third base. But Sen's Muta's a little tiny bit out of position during that attack.
All right, nice. Just flying the Mutas around here. I think Sen now realizing he is still a little bit behind with the economy here. Oh my god, he's got to run.
Oh no, Sen taking way too much damage, losing multiple Mutas.
I think everybody was on the same page there when we saw that turret being repaired. I thought that was actually going to die.
Yeah.
And then there was that oh crap moment that he probably had and had to run out of there, losing way too many Mutas. By the way, Sen's creep spread, the opposite of what we saw from Demaga in that game. He is just pushing out and dominating the map.
You know, I love what we're seeing from Sen right now. In fact, I'm getting chills from it. The fact that he's actually not going Banelings, this is something that only Zenex Line, a Korean Zerg player, has really tried, really put to the test in this matchup. We see the very